So we go ahead and start, okay? And so we finished up 25. So we're starting in Proverbs 26. So Proverbs, how you all doing? So in Proverbs 26. Also, just to say to you before we get started, I don't want to forget this, is that I got a text from one of our members, Ivy Uzzle, that her stepdaughter had emergency surgery on her skull, and apparently she said they had to. She gave me the amount. Come on in now. 24 ounces. Yeah, 24 ounces of fluid. She said from her. From her brain. So she wants. Wants you guys to be in prayer with the family. I was going to say something joking about her. I'm going to say it anyway. She used it as an excuse not to come to Bible study. People use any reason not to come to Bible. No, I'm not talking about her stepdaughter. I'm talking about her. She said she was tired because she was in the emergency room all day. Y'all tired too, aren't you? But y'all came to talk to the Lord. Praise the Lord. Okay. We're in Proverbs 26. How you doing tonight, my dear? We're in Proverbs 26. And 26 is a very interesting chapter in that what it does is that Solomon kind of takes 26 and he looks at the first 25, and this is an assumption on my part, okay? This is not something Solomon told me. Okay? But it's almost as like he took the first 25 chapters or the first 25 parts that make up the first 25 chapters and said, let me kind of give a summary in this chapter. So when you look at 26, he spends the first half of the chapter just identifying and talking about foods. Right? That's the whole half of the chapter.
I need to hear that.
We say you want to come to the front row. That whole half is about identifying and understanding how to deal with food. And so the important thing that is obvious, right? So, because once you can identify a food, then it ought to make your life a lot easier. Right? Not because you are angry with the food, not because you want to call them a food, but because it will help you not to be so upset when people do foolish things. Okay? Because the reality of life is that. And we always say you need to expect a food to be a food. It's kind of like, you wouldn't expect if you had roaches in your house, right? You wouldn't expect the roaches not to get in the trash. Right? You won't walk in the kitchen and get mad and say, roaches, y'all know better than this. Why y'all come out and get in my trash? Because you expect people to be and act like they are. So the advantage to recognizing people and who they are is so they don't get under your skin. And that's how you can smile and laugh and joke with people, no matter how they treat you, because you can assess how they are. And then he talks about two other groups of people. He doesn't give as much energy to that, and I think because he views the world as being what? More fools than anybody else in the world. But then he talks about hateful people, okay? Because there are hateful people. There are people that, for whatever reason, are bitter, and just, you can't do nothing but just hate on folk, right? So he talks about those kind of folk. Same thing is applicable, right? The more you know how to deal with, right? And he talks about, slowful folk somewhat. Because all of us got some lazy folk in our life that we are sick of, right? But again, he talks about how you deal with them as well. So that's what the focus is on this chapter. And that's what I'm saying. If you think about it, the first 25 chapters, kind of hit on all this kind of stuff. And this one, he kind of consolidates it and says, let me just give you some punch now. Now you got some power, okay? So, ready? Okay. So he starts out by saying, as snow in summer and as rain in harvest, so honor is not seemly for a fool. All right? So as snow in summer and rain in harvest, so honor is not seemly for a fool. Now, so that says what? If it's June, do you expect to see snow? No. No. Right? As a matter of fact, snow in June you don't want to see. Right? Same thing when you are out trying to harvest something, what? Rain is not something that is desirable. Okay? So he's saying this. The same thing he says is honor for a fool. In other words, he's saying that it makes no sense to try to accommodate or to placate a fool. Okay? And sometimes you can know a person is just as crazy as they can be, but we'll try to find something good. You know, so we can make them feel like they're not foolish. And he's saying, why are you doing that? Because the more you do that, the more they're going to act like a fool. Sometimes you have to tell a fool, hey, you know what? You're a fool. You're a fool. Right. Yeah. For their own good. You don't do it maliciously. Don't bring out the haterade. Just be, you know, hey. Or you can say it a different way. What you're doing is foolish. Now you keep on doing it. I'm not calling you a fool. I'm saying your actions are foolish. Right? Okay? Then he says, in verse 2, and I'm going to take them individually until they deserve to be, you know, put together. But the first 12 verses are all about fools. Okay? He says, as the bird by wandering, as the swallow by flying, so the curse causeless shall not come. As the bird by wandering, as the swallow by flying, so the curse causeless shall not come. In other words, he's giving you an insight to how fools think. Okay? Now, how do birds get from point A to point B? It's just as simple as that, isn't it? Right? He's saying, but see, fools don't think that way. See, fools don't use cause and effect for the way they think. That's how you know they're fools. Because they'll do something like this. I don't know why that happened to me. Because you're a fool, that's what happened to you. It's like, but in their mind, they don't think it should have happened that way. Right? Like, for example, this is just an example, right? Let's say you're riding down the street, minding your own business, doing 75 miles per hour on 64, let's say 64, right? And the thing to pull you over. I don't know why he pulled me over. You don't? Because you were speeding. That's why he pulled you over, right? See, it's straightforward stuff. But see, fools don't think that way. Fools always wonder, why it happened to me? I don't understand. Why it happened to me? I don't know why I got fired. You got fired because you was in the bathroom with your feet on the toilet thinking nobody saw you. That's why you got fired. Right? But they don't think that way. Right? And so that's what he's saying right here. And so, but if when you understand it about fools, it changes the way you deal with them. Okay? But it also tells us something too. Hmm?
And it shouldn't be fools like that?
Well, if the bird is here and it used to be there, it flew over here. So it tells you something. Stop asking the stupid question, why did it happen to me? How you think it happened to you? Because you did something stupid. That's why. Okay? If you don't pay your car payment, they gonna repossess it. You know why it happened to me. My cousin missed 4 car payments and his car didn't get repossessed. So? You know? Okay. A whip for the horse, a bridle for the ass, and a rod for the fool's back. Right? So what? A whip for the horse. If you want the horse to run faster, whoop him. Right? Isn't that what Seeley told whoop up. No, whoop up. Whoop up. Show Harpo. Whoop up. A bridle for the ass. Right? Bridle what? Used to direction, right? And a rod for the fool's back. The only way a fool will learn is by experiencing pain. See, wise people learn by other people's mistakes. Fools learn by making the mistake themselves. You know. And so, hopefully, you all don't do that. Hopefully you look at other people and say, you know what? I'm not going to make the same mistake they made. Yes, my dear. You forgot to look?
Here's the question. We all make mistakes.
Mm-hmm.
And we all make foolish mistakes at times.
No, we all don't make foolish mistakes.
Well, we all make dumb mistakes.
No, we all don't make dumb mistakes.
How many here haven't made a dumb mistake?
Y'all might have. Now, I didn't say I don't make mistakes. It's different making a mistake and making a foolish mistake.
Yeah, I just meant like we all make sometimes stupid mistakes because, you know, or maybe I do.
Well, I'm not saying you are alone in that process.
Right.
I'm not saying you are alone. I'm just saying it doesn't apply to all people.
Right, but that doesn't mean that, you know, we've learned from everyone else's mistakes. We also learn from our mistakes.
I get that, and that's why it says a whip for the horse, a bridle for the ass, and a rod for the fool's back. Because if you learn, if your mistakes are the ones you only learn from, it says you are a fool.
Okay, no, I didn't mean that, but every now and then. Once in a while.
I'm not saying you are one. I'm just saying that's what he's saying here.
Okay, I'm just saying that every once in a while we all make mistakes. And I get it now. I get what he was saying.
Yeah. Right. See, here's the thing. Let me put it a different way. Every mistake does not cause you pain.
No.
But that doesn't mean it wasn't a mistake. Okay? We all make mistakes because we all are not perfect. But all mistakes don't cause pain. Generally speaking, mistakes that cause pain is because I was a fool in doing it. Because I looked at the risk and I said, this is worth taking the risk. When it really wasn't. You see? Like, for example, you know, joining a gang. Joining a gang, right, is a risk, right? The fool says it's worth taking the risk. What is the risk to join the gang? Death and jail, right? But the fool will say it's worth taking the risk. Then when they get shot, it's pain. When they get in jail, it's pain. See, that's a foolish mistake.
Oh, yeah.
Right? But you can make a mistake that's not foolish and it still be a mistake. You know, like you can mess around and take the wrong exit. It's not a mistake. You just drive down 2-3 more blocks and get right back on, come on back up. Right? So it's not a foolish mistake. That's what he's talking about. He's talking about foolish mistakes. There's a difference. Okay? Now, 4 and 5 go together. 4 and 5 go together. Answer not a fool or I do this all the time now, but I do it because I like to joke with people. Okay. Answer not a fool according to his folly, lest thou also be like unto him. Answer a fool according to his folly, lest he be wise in his own conceit. So this is saying what? What I just told you earlier, right? Is that when you're talking with a fool, be honest with the fool. Don't just keep, now I'll leave the fool on in a minute. I'll be saying something like this. Yeah, I think that's a great idea. Go ahead and do it. Right? And then they come back, why are you telling me to do that? I'm just agreeing with you. You said you thought it was a good idea. Right? But this is saying what? Listen, if you answer a fool according if you answer a fool as if you agree with the fool, they will think they are smart. So this is to answer the fool according to his folly. It means be honest with the person. That's all. Just be honest and tell the person, no, that's the craziest idea I ever heard. Don't do it. Don't do it. Right? Just like I told a friend, I'm not gonna tell y'all which friend. Like I told a friend of mine, he came to me and said, "Hey, bro, will you do this wedding for me, this ceremony for me?" And I said, "Come here. Took me in the back, because the girl he's gonna marry right out there. So took me in the back. I said, "Are you crazy? See, you lost your mind. You gonna marry her?" "Yeah, I love her." I said, "You crazy?" You know what he said? "But I love her." I said, "Come on. Do you take her?" "Yeah." "Do you take him?" "Yeah, I signed right on it. Y'all going in."
Wait, so what happened?
6 months later, they were done.
They what?
6 months later, they were done.
Gee, but you knew.
They knew it.
Straightforward. Straightforward. If just so all y'all know this, is in case we got some fools in here tonight. Now, I'm not telling y'all lots, just in case we got some in here tonight. All right. Let's say you have marriage counseling with me. All right. My marriage counseling is not designed to help you get married. My marriage counseling is designed to help you use your brain. So I tell people when they come to my marriage counseling, walk in here not with the idea that you know you're going to get married. Walk in here with the idea that you're trying to find out if you should get married. So don't send out those invitations after we go through counseling. That's what most fools do. So this is the kind this is God's truth. This is what I ask people when I'm doing marriage counseling. Have you got a date yet for your ceremony? If they say yes, the counseling is over with real quick. Because you've already told me. You don't care what I say, you're going to marry that person. So what need me giving you, what need me wasting my time? I answer the fool according to the Father. Why? Because I can tell you all day long you shouldn't do it. Well, we already sent the invitations out. Well, maybe they'll change by then. No, they ain't. No, they're not. They ain't gonna change. They ain't gonna change. When the last time you saw a leopard change his stripes? You never have. You know why? They don't. See the fools that ain't up. I've never seen them. We go to Animal Channel one time. Okay, all right. Okay. 6 says, "He that sendeth a message by the hand of a fool cutteth off his feet and drinketh damage." Oh, hallelujah. Ain't that true?
Yes.
Why do we do it? Why do we do it? Why? Because we fools, right? Why do we rely on a fool to do anything for us? And that's all it's saying. You already discerned that they was a fool. Why would you now have confidence in them to do anything? Huh?
You just hoping.
What?
That's if it's your brother. You just hoping.
You hoping?
Yeah,
Against all hope.
Because Jesse said keep hoping now.
Hoping against all hope. As snow in summer, as rain in harvest, so is honor not seemly for a fool. It's telling you right there, don't trust a fool with anything other than foolishness. That's all. The only thing you can get from a fool is foolishness. If you trust a fool with more than that, you are setting yourself up for failure. Okay? I don't care if it's your own brother. Okay? Yeah, let me tell you something. That's the last fool you want to trust is somebody related to you. Because at least an unrelated fool will at least make up a good lie about it. But your family won't even lie to you. Yeah, I did it. Yeah, I did it. Like my brother told me one time about some money. You know I like to smoke reefer before you gave me the money. Oh, no, I'm staying with the problem is. You know, I said, you know what that? You're absolutely right. Well, I said, well, he was right. I said, he's absolutely right. Now, let me go in the store myself and get what I wanted to get. Because I shouldn't have gave you the money to go get it in the first place, because I knew you won't make it all the way to the store.
And I'm gonna get my thing back.
Change back. You said, did you give me change back?
No, I said, and I knew I'm gonna get my change back.
Oh, yeah. I got changed all right.
Everything cost us over $20.
I got changed into being mad. I got changed. Okay, all right. Okay. The 7. The legs of the lame are not equal. So is a parable in the mouth of fools. Right?
Yes.
That's where you can't tell. You know, this stuff's so straightforward. All night, I didn't have to read it to you. It is what? Here's what you know. Is that a fool's understanding will never measure up to what you're trying to teach them.
No.
So he's saying, don't expect it. In other words, so I guess the moral of what Solomon is saying is this simple: what? Expect the fool to what? Be a fool. So stop trying to wise a fool up. Like the question was, what was your own brother? Stop trying to wise them up. They're not going to get wise. It's not going to happen. Okay? That's why we label them. Well, there's nothing wrong with being a fool. There's nothing wrong with having a fool in your company. What's wrong is when you act like the fool is not a fool. I love having fools around me sometimes. You know what? They're the fun people to be around. It's a whole lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. I mean, like, for example, you know, I mean, every guy in here probably has experienced this, you know, when we were young, right? It wasn't always this one guy that would say, I bet I can jump off that house. I don't believe it. Go ahead and jump. Give me a quarter, I'll jump. Well, go ahead. Give me the quarter right here. What the fool do? And they come to school next week like right. But it was fun, wasn't it? See, it was always that fool that you could say to, hey, look, we hungry. Why don't you go and get it? I got y'all back. I got y'all. Y'all just watch me while I go in here, you know. And you really do like this right here. That fool crazy. Don't they see him putting all that stuff? But when he come out with it, he'll be like, thank you. Can I get that? So anyway, all right. They ain't understand. 8. As he that bindeth a stone in a sling, so is he that giveth honor to a fool. Right? It does you no good, in other words. Right? If you got a slingshot and you tie it so that the stone won't come out, nothing happens. Right? It's the same thing. You give it honor to a fool, it's no good. It does no good to you or the fool. Okay? As a thorn goeth up into the hand of a drunkard, so is a parable in the mouth of a fool. Right? Now, when you're drunk, everybody don't know this, the person that knows the most didn't come tonight. She has some personal problems to deal with. Don't tell her I said it. Don't tell her I said it. Okay, but just like, you know, see, look, a drunk always getting hurt. They're falling down, they always something always happens with the drunk, right? They can't get to the car without falling and bumping their head, and they can't get in the car, they can't get out the car, they can't get out the damn car without falling down. That happened to you.
No, I don't drink. I do not drink.
Anymore. You know what, that's right.
No.
You have glaucoma for that. Right, what's that?
Yeah.
Okay.
I know, right?
Okay, so.
Has.
So the sower has a parable in the mouth of fools, right? So it's saying what? You know what? Is that what is that if you, in other words, if you listen to what a fool is trying to tell you about something, then you might as well go and just hit yourself in the head with a hammer. Because it don't make no sense. But then ain't a fool always trying to tell you something? They always know something. They always know something. Ain't they always so smart. They know, and they always want to talk about something stupid. And then you be thinking to yourself, where did this come from?
Yeah.
They know politics, they know everything. So, did you have a question, Liz? Or you just were yawning? Okay.
I was just like saying, yeah.
Oh, okay, got you. Okay, so, all right. Okay. And most of this stuff, like I said, it's down to something that's been a long time with it. Okay. 10 says, the great God that formed all things both rewardeth the fool and rewardeth the transgressors. Right? So he's saying here that you cannot judge a fool by whether or not they are blessed. Because God gives, so like for example, this is just an example, right? I'm not trying to call either one of these people fools. This is just an example, okay? Like, for example, so say people may look at a rich person who happens to won the Republican nomination for president and became president. And they may look at that and say, well, wait a minute, how in the world could they get what they got if they were not a fool? But what this is telling you is, you can be a fool and still move up.
Oh, yeah.
Just like you can be a sinner and still move up. And he said what? He rewarded what? The fools and transgressors. How do we know that? Because he said what? I made Pharaoh to the Egyptians. I put him up there. And I put him up there for a reason. So oftentimes when we're wondering why, it's because God is making a decision. I was at a meeting last week before last with a bunch of ministers, and somebody asked me the question, what do you think about, did anything good come out of this presidency? I said, of course it did. A lot of good came out of it, okay? The best thing that came out of it was that people began to understand that staying at home was a huge mistake.
Yes, indeed.
You know, because especially in our communities, we only wanted to get out and vote because it was Barack Obama. We were voting like we were lines all down the street, pouring down rain. We said, I'm voting for Barack Obama. Yeah. Then next election, what we do? I ain't going out there and vote. I ain't going out there. It's cloudy. I ain't going out there and vote. It's cloudy today. I ain't voting for nobody. I'm staying home. I ain't voting for nobody.
And nobody got it.
And nobody got it.
Yeah.
Right? And now you're sitting at home mad.
Still lost by 3 million votes, but.
No, he didn't. He won by a negative 3 million votes.
Yes, oh, you're right, sorry. He won by
He
negative.
won by a negative 3 million votes. Absolutely.
If you let him tell it, he won it all.
Uh-huh.
You let him tell it, that is not how it went. He won it all, fair and square.
He did win it fair and square.
Stay on.
Huh?
With Crooked Hillary.
No, he won it fair and square, not with Crooked Hillary. He won it fair and square with foolish people. See, I'm serious. I don't care how crooked Hillary may or may not have been. That doesn't erase how crooked he may or may not have been. I don't care how many lies she told. It doesn't erase how many lies he told. Or ill tales, right? So I'm saying the good thing to me about it is this. Here's the real question. For those who are in television land, here's the real question. Did the fools learn?
We'll see.
You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. See, you'll know if the fools learned in November.
That's right.
That's when you'll know. Because here's what you know, as you just said, my dear, there are more Democrats than there are Republicans. So does it make sense at all? Let me tell you something that's really foolish. Now, this is not in the text, all right? This is a political statement about foolishness. Okay? Do you all know what the majority ethnic background is in the state of South Carolina?
Hispanic.
Huh? Say it again? South Carolina. What's it? I got 3 blacks and 1 Hispanic. You said it's Caucasian.
It's a lot of Hispanic in South Carolina.
Hold on for a second.
It's them geechee
Blacks.
Okay, I won't ask Siri, but I had to. It's African American or blacks, whichever you want to call yourself. How in the world is a state? I said how many fools? First, Siri said a fool won't understand. Okay, look. Here's what I'm saying. How do you have a majority voters African American and a Confederate flag flying in the Capitol? That makes no sense, do it? Fools voting foolishly or staying at home. P-Town. P-Town. How do you have a Confederate monument downtown Portsmouth?
In the middle. Literally.
With all those African Americans in P-Town. It makes no sense. That's why I say we will see if they learn. Yes, my dear.
For many years, up north, the population of Lawrence, Massachusetts was 70% Hispanic and 30% white and African American. For many, many years, it was the Irish that ran South Lawrence because the Hispanics couldn't get together because you had the ones from Cuba, Haiti, Puerto Rico. They wouldn't get together.
Right. No, I agree with you. No, you were right. That's what I'm saying. See, they didn't learn.
Right.
They didn't learn. We haven't learned. And I don't mean, when I say me, I don't just mean, blacks. What, are y'all black or y'all African American? I know you're not, Liz. How you know, Liz? You might have 2, 3, drop things. You never know.
I could be Caucasian right now.
Color today.
Okay, here's what I'm saying to you. If
She
we,
feels more black than she does white.
huh?
I feel more African American or black than I do white.
You're right. You're right. I'm listening because you are comfortable in our world, no doubt. But I was saying it for a different reason. My reason for saying it was this: is that here's the thing. If you know that the electorate, less than 50% of the electorate vote, right? Less than 50% of the electorate vote. If blacks are 28%, if all of them voted, it would be a black president every time. Isn't that something? Because see, less than 50% of the electorate vote. So if everybody that was black said, we're going to write in Michael Daniels as president, guess where I'd be at in 2020? I'm right. So some of y'all going to say, we want him to stay the pastor. We love you too much to see you go up there and make some real money. Being in the White House.
That's too much stress, though. That's too much stress. We don't want you to
Too much stress on it. He might go up there.
Oh, no, I ain't gonna do that.
What?
I worry
You
about
shooting up all right.
I worry about power going to your head.
Huh?
Although you're
Too late.
down to
air. It's already gone to my head. And if I was the president, guess what? I would give you all the acre and the mule you so richly It'd be reparation for all. Okay, y'all didn't hear what I said, did you? I said I'm going to give you the acre that you so richly deserve. You don't deserve 40 acres. Ain't nobody in here deserve 40 acres. You know why? Because ain't nobody in here experienced slavery.
That's right.
And nobody in it, huh?
Right. I'm a descendant.
Let me get to the next verse. Way off topic now. Way off topic. Yeah, because there's some really running for president. It ain't gonna matter. All right.
I think Felicia should.
If you think I can't get in, you better know she ain't getting in.
Wait a minute, Daphne, you the only one that got the juice now.
No, let me tell you something. You know why you ain't getting in? Because you got, see, I got one strike. You got two.
Black female.
She black and female. Let me tell you something.
But if every woman and every black person voted, then Felicia would get elected.
If every woman and every black person voted, anybody can elect. Let me tell you something. Here's the thing. This is real talk. This is real talk. Women do not like women in power.
He's right about it. Amen.
This is reality.
No, I haven't heard bosses that way.
I'm just saying, women, in general, women prefer men at the head. So therefore, that's why it was so hard for, it wasn't hard for Hillary because she was a liar. It was hard for Hillary because she was a woman. That's all it was. She was a woman. Okay, it's no doubt that she was smart. She was a woman, that's all. Let's get back to foods and let's stop acting like them. All right. So, okay, 11. Verse 11. As a dog returneth to his vomit, so a fool returneth to his folly. Again, we say what? Fools are hard to learn. Like a dog. Dogs are funny like that, right? They'll eat something, throw it up, and then walk away, and then look at it and say, you know what? It tastes good, let me go back. They eat it again, and throw it back up, and walk away, and come right back and again. And we are the same way. We're the same way. Let me give you a good example of that. But I'm going to use the guys, not y'all. I'm going to use the guys this time. Let me tell you a good example of that. Guys that date women that are crazy, always date women that are crazy. And always saying, I'm so sick of all these crazy women in my life. But that's what they always date, a bunch of crazy women. And they don't understand why. That's why when you at the club, she outside yelling. I know you in there. Because who else follows you like that? But guys that date crazy women. Okay? Let me tell you something. For example, let me tell you something. For example, if you know a guy that's got 5 baby mamas. I'm just saying 5. Or any multiple like that. He's always dating the same kind of women and being mad when they get pregnant. Oh, she want me to pay child support. See, but that's the kind of woman, especially like athletes. The athletes that's paying thousands and thousands of dollars because they got several women pregnant. Right, and then they mad. Oh, they just wanted my money. Hey, fool, you mean tell me you didn't figure out that if you was walking out the locker room and she just said, "Yeah, I am." But I'm saying, it's like they don't learn. See, you thought they would have learned from the first one. And say, you know what? Not this baby mama drama. You know what I mean? Because it ain't like it's hard It's like my mother told me this when I was about 12 years old. She said, if she don't know who the baby is, make sure you know who the baby belongs to. Okay? And then she threw a condom to all her sons. He was home. Now, that's what you. I'm just saying, it ain't like the guys cannot, do. I mean, not that they should. Listen, I'm not advocating premarital intimacy. Okay, I'm not saying that. I'm not saying they should. I'm just saying what. It is what it is, and that what if they was using their brains, it wouldn't happen. You might make that, as you say, that one mistake. You were walking out the locker room and you tripped and fell. Oops! I ain't know you were laying there. That was an accidental mistake. You didn't see the curve. Boom. And then she was pregnant. You're like, oh my God, I made a mistake. She's pregnant, right? But after that time, what you supposed to do? Look down before you walk.
Watch your
Seest thou a man wise in his own conceit? There is more hope of a fool than of him. Listen, one time, they say, what, the fool is smarter than somebody. They say, when you see somebody that think too much of themselves, that there's more hope of a fool than a man that don't know his own weaknesses, okay, and his own strength. You gotta, as Shakespeare said, what, to thine own self be true. Right. Okay. So that takes us through the fools, right? And then we go to the group of what we call the lazy folk, right? The lazy folk, all right? And so that's 13 through 16. And it's just a simple concept of how lazy folk are, what lazy folk do, and so how you should look at lazy folk, all right? The slothful man saith, there is a lion in the way. A lion is in the streets. In other words, these folk just make excuse for anything. Right? Why you didn't sweep the floor? Because I thought you liked it like that. Why you didn't wash them dishes? I was trying to save on the water bill. There's always something, right? As the door turneth upon his hinges, so doth the slothful upon his bed. In other words, they'll go back and forth, but they ain't getting up to no work. The slothful hideth his hand in his bosom. It grieveth him to bring it again to his mouth. Too lazy to even feed himself. Right? Yeah. The sluggard is wiser in his own conceit than 7 men that can render a reason. Okay? And that's the truth. Lazy people, at least it's been my experience, this was all I'm saying as well, is that lazy people know a lot about nothing. But in their minds, they always can tell you why they ain't working yet. They're waiting on the big break. This ain't good enough for them. I can't work here. This is beneath me to work here. Like I had a gentleman wanted to borrow some money from me, and I was in the back right there, past that. He came back and out there. At that time, one of our members worked at the Burger King up the street. And she had already told me, she said, listen, anybody need some money? Say, listen, I'll hire them on the spot. So the person come back there, tell me they want to borrow some money for a car payment. And I said, oh, I got it fake, bro. Right down there, Burger King, he hired you right on the spot. Dr.Daniels. Now you know good and well. Man like me. Can't be down there working at Burger King. See, right, but see, that's what he's saying. What is that? Because in his mind, it's above him. The bottom line is, if you could do more, you would be doing more. See, if you really was doctor material, if you really was brain surgery material, they would have hired you as internal officer general to do brain surgery. But because they didn't hire you, it means what? You ain't brain surgery material, surgeon material. Use French fry material. I'm on them French fries, and do what you gotta do. Yeah. That's right. No, you can't move up the cheese. You can't move up the hamburger yet. That's a process. It's all they can All right. 17.
Ask a question.
Question?
How do you handle lazy people at work?
How do you handle it? Well, it depends on whether you're the supervisor or you're the peer. Are you a supervisor or are you a peer? A supervisor is easy. No, really, supervisor is easy. I mean, both of them are easy. It just depends. I mean, both of them are easy because now if you identify them in this genre, right? So you know what's about them. Let's say you are a peer of theirs, right? How do you handle them? You don't, right? Well, that's about you not doing no work. See, some people's concept is this: you aren't working hard enough, and so you getting by with it. So what? See, my job is not to compete with you. My job is doing my job. Right? They're paying me for 8 hours a day. So I don't care what. Let me say, for example, let me tell you something right now. This is just an example, all right? Don't get no ideas, all right? This just let's say for the sake of argument, y'all say, you know what, pastor, in the bylaws say you pastor for life. And it does. In the bylaws say I'm pastor for life. That means unless I decide I want to go or one of y'all kill me, I'm still the pastor. But let's say y'all say this, you know what? Pastor for life. We don't pay you the same salary, but we're going to demote you. Your job now is to be the yard man. You're going to cut grass. You know what I'm going to do? I'm cutting the grass. See, I ain't crazy. I'm going to cut the grass, and I'm going to cut it 8 hours a day, and I'm going to do a good job cutting the grass, and I don't care. You know why? Because you're paying me for 40 hours a week. I don't care what I do as long as I get the money. But see, some folks be like this. Well, why should I cut the grass, and all he got to do is come in here and preach on Sunday? I don't care. What you do ain't none of my business. So if they lazy and they're your peer, so what? That's the supervisor's problem. Let's say you're the supervisor. It's simple. You're the supervisor. Here's how you look at anybody working for you. Anybody that's working for you falls in one of two categories. Okay? Either it's a quality problem, or it's a rule breaker problem. Okay? If it's a rule breaker problem, it's simple. You broke my rules, that means you said you disrespected me, you got to go. Because breaking a rule means you have said you're not going to follow my lead. And I can't have you not following my lead. So I will certainly give you an opportunity, right? Hey, want to do X, Y, Z? You broke the rule, depending on the rules you break now. Depending on the rules you break, if it was a reasonable breaking, then I'll say I'll give you another shot. But some rules I don't give you another shot at. Right? If you steal, there's no other shot you gotta go. Okay. But boom, then go ahead. So if it's a quality problem, you have to determine, is it quality? If it's quantity, it means you're not doing enough work, right? Quality means the work is substandard. You have to decide, is it because you haven't had the proper training, or is it because you don't have the proper ability? See, sometimes we'll think a person is lazy. Really, they don't have the ability to do the job. So it takes them twice as long to do something that you can do in 5 minutes. So you have to figure that one out. If the ability is not there, you have to move them somewhere else where their abilities match what they can do, right? You take them off hamburgers and you put them on french fries. So that's one step. Boom. Boom. Right? Because they don't know how to go what? Lettuce, tomato, mayonnaise. Oh, I'm sorry. Mayonnaise first, then lettuce. Too many steps. If it's not that means it's training. So I need to train them, right? And if I train you and you have the skill, then it's no longer quality, it's rules. Now I know what.
Would it get smart enough where the quality and the quantity is excellent, but they're not breaking the rules?
I ain't got a problem there.
But as a supervisor, they're not breaking the policies and procedures. to a harsh extent.
There ain't no such thing.
They bordering the line.
There ain't no such thing. Either you're going 55 or you're going 56. You're going 55, then see, here's our problem as supervisors. It's not my problem. Here's some folks' problem as supervisors. They'll see you not doing anything, and they'll say, "Why ain't you working?" Well, if the job is done, I don't need to work. See, I'm not mad at you because you're smart. If you are smart and you can get the job done, quantity and quality met my expectations, I'm not requiring you to help this person out. That's what some people do. Well, since you finished early, go help them out. No, because now I've enabled them to be lazy. So if you finish your job and the quantity and the quality is where it should be, sit your behind down and enjoy yourself and play some cards, watch some TV till it's time for you to go home. Why? Because if I tell you go help them, I've hurt you, so now you're going to slow down. And I have enabled them, and so now they're going to stop working hard because they know every time they get behind, you're going to send some help over there to them. So don't be, here's what I have learned. The best person on your job is the one who you see them doing nothing, but the job is always done.
Amen.
And I don't care how they get it done. I don't care if you get it done by tricking him to do the job. I'm going to promote you. Why? Because you are a motivating individual. See, that's how you manage. That's what I'm saying. That's what Solomon is saying here. Understand the person, and then you won't be frustrated by them. You can use them to the best that they can give you. You know what I'm saying? Look, ask Pimp. Pimp know what I'm talking about. Come on. How you get your women to give you the money? They bring it home every Friday. Here you go, Daddy.
Can I set a booth at the door and charge for entertainment tickets?
If I get 40%. I'm sorry, say it a little louder. I'm sorry. Work as a team.
So when you're done with your position, why not help out the next person that's falling behind? It could be a
No.
trade.
Think about what I said. I didn't say if I get done early, I shouldn't help. If I get done early, I might want to help. But I'm not going to help you if you are lazy. I will help you if you're still trying to get the job done. But if you just lazy and you've been over there on the phone talking, or you've been playing games and we behind, I'm not going to help you if I get mine done fast. Because you have not been a team player. You follow me? And so I'm saying, as a supervisor, I'm not going to force you to do another person's job. I will never force you to do someone else's job.
Well, it all depends on the job. Because working with burgers and fries, there's no when you're done. I just noticed.
It ain't?
No, because
Yeah, it is.
when you get done with making sandwiches, then there's another task to be done.
Okay, I know you. This is what you assume. That I ain't never worked with burgers and fries.
I mean, no, I'm not assuming.
No. Okay, let me tell you. Here's the deal. Here's what normally happens, right? Here's what the manager normally says. Oh, by the way, since you're done, go out there and clean the lobby. Right? Since you're done, go out there and pick up some trash out of the parking lot. Since you're done, I'm saying that's a sorry manager. That manager is not effectively managing their staff. Because, see, you want to reward people who are good people. See, if it's your job to clean the lobby, you should know it's your job to clean the lobby before I put you on French fries. I should tell you, this is your job. Your job is to do French fries and clean the lobby. That way you know ahead of time how fast to work. And if I get the lobby clean and ain't no more French fries to drop, I know I'm done. Then don't come back to me and say, oh, well, by the way, you got those 2 tasks done. Now go on out there and clean the bathroom too. No, you know why? Because the person that was on burgers was working slow the whole time. Because they were saying what? So what I'm saying is that as a manager, right? See, as a manager, Think about yourself as an employee. Don't you want to know ahead of time what your tasks are?
Yes.
You don't want to have to guess. You want to know, this is what you expect of me. See, people will work hard for you when they know what you expect and they know you're not going to penalize them for working hard. If you penalize me for working hard, I'm going to stop working hard. Now, I might have started out flipping fries real fast. But once you say clean the toilet out, I'm putting 4 fries in the I'm just saying. Yeah. See, I'm just saying. See, here's the problem. Here's the problem. I'm going to let y'all go. Because since y'all asking the question, most managers are not trained to be managers. Most managers are promoted through the ranks. See, when you promote people through the ranks without training them as managers, you don't know how to be a good manager just because you was a good employee.
Right.
See, every good employee don't make a good manager. You have to select people to manage who have the skills that Solomon is talking about in Proverbs. People that have wisdom, people that are adaptable, and people that understand people. See, if I understand people, I look to motivate you in a different way. Okay? And I mean, if people that work for me in here can tell you that I don't follow behind you, asking you to do a whole lot of stuff. I don't check behind you, I don't all that kind of stuff, but I just come through every now and again. But when I come through, I came through. Because I point out everything under the sun that you haven't done. And when I tell you in a way that causes you to feel bad. And so when I finish telling you, you feeling bad. I ain't feeling bad. But you are. So you know why you feeling bad? Because you're scared. Now you say, you know what? This guy's been letting me slide for the last 6 months. I ain't been doing the hard work out here. But now, he getting ready to change some things. Let me get this job done real fast, because I kind of like the idea of not having to work hard while he ain't here. Right? Just like, I'll give you a quick example. I'm going to let y'all, time's up now. Like, for example, I used to, let them be on their own. This is not the academy side. This is the church side I'm talking about. I used to never have them signing in or doing anything like that. You ain't have to tell me what time you came to work or nothing. I just looked at the job was done. I said, you get paid before the hour. And one day I was on Little Creek Road. Who in the world up here on Little Creek Road? See, they thought I was going to be in Chesapeake. I was on Little Creek Road. But my God, you know way up here on Little Creek Road. And the church unattended. So I went to signing in. Sign in, right? Then I noticed that they were signing in using the same color ink.
Somebody signed
every day. And it was the same kind of writing in the same time every day. See, nobody comes into work at the same time every day. Nobody. And nobody's handwriting is the same unless you're doing it all at the same time. So I got a clock. You have to put the thumbprint in. Not a thumbprint. Now, if you cut somebody's thumb off and fine with it. So now it's like, don't y'all act like a fool around here. They said, love me now. Well, you're no fool now, because you got something else up your sleeve. So you can't handle stuff around here. All right? So what I'm saying. But you got to understand your people. That's all. It's 8 o'clock, y'all. Here's up. We didn't talk. So wait a minute, we ended up at what? 16. We got to start 17.